Good evening. Good evening. Hello, everyone. Hello, T-Shine.
There we go.
How are you, Miss Shine?
All right. How are you?
I don't believe that, but I'm okay.
Fine, then stop asking me. If you don't ask the crazy questions, I won't answer you crazy. See, that's what you do. That's how you know we are best friends right there. If that doesn't prove the point, that's it. That's right there. It's a live action moment of best friends.
My
Right there.
bad. My bad. That's all me. That was all me. I
All
apologize.
you. All you start something, won't be none right there. I'm telling you. But you starting.
Shame on me for the pleasantries.
I know, right? I'm trying to be pleasant. Just stop it.
All right. I think you might need tonight's session more than I do.
I'm showing resilience. I think I am. I think I am, living the dream right
Come
now.
on now, you better live it. Come on.
Note
All
to
that.
self. Don't ask T-Shine how she doing today.
I said, all right, that should be enough.
Listen, we want the real anyway. So bring
Oh,
what
she gave the real. She
already,
said, all right, but she kind of said it with this look on her face that let me know that wasn't the truth. So then when I commented on it, she was like, stop asking me then, because you know the answer to this question in advance.
That's one of our superpowers. We don't even have to say we can pick up the tone from this or from tone.
Mhm.
Energy. That is our superpower. And I love that we have that magic that we can be in a whole room with people who don't get it, but everybody else does who needs to.
She
On
got
the
it.
internet today, I got it. I did. On the internet today, I saw a clip, and it was a clip of Tamron Hall saying something to Kamala Harris with nonverbal. So when I say saying something, right? They did the whole, you know how we do the holding in the hands and we do the looks and we do the that's that I got you, right? You ain't got to say a word. Like they showed a clip of that today, and I just smiled because I said most people won't understand that because that's just what we do.
That's right. Uh-oh. Is that my cousin?
You got a clone, David? You got a clone?
Right, I'm
Okay,
looking
another
like,
person
hello?
here.
Hey, bro. Let me know. Is it my past or present self showing up? I'm ready to see. Past,
Oh
future.
my goodness. Well, let's jump in and get started. Welcome to the community members that are here. Are we already at 6? Yeah, we on time. We're gonna do this thing. As you see, for those of you who are 10K project members and come and follow all of us, we have got the amazing Blackfulness team here to talk to us today. We've got David and Sonia. I absolutely adore these two humans, okay? And the work that they are doing is absolutely phenomenal, first and foremost. And so they have agreed to come here and bless us tonight because from time to time, we need to tap in on what we're thinking. We need to tap into what is surrounding us, what's heavy on our shoulders. We need to tap in. And so tonight, that's what this is about, is tapping in, because it ain't easy, y'all, right? We know that. We all dealing with something. Some of us are dealing with a whole lot of somethings. And so we need to be able to talk about it first and foremost. We need to be able to get some relief from it. And so we're going to hopefully give you some tools tonight. I said we're going to hopefully, I know we are. We're going to give you some tools tonight that are going to help you through that. And I will tell you selfishly, this session is about Talisha and I because we got some stuff weighing on us as an organization, just as parents, as entrepreneurs, right? And just Black women, period. We feel like we have the weight of the world on our shoulders. And so if we're feeling that way with all the blessings that we have, we know that some of you are also feeling that same heaviness. And so we want to talk about it. We want to be able to heal from it as well. So I didn't know anyone else to come and talk to us and help us through that other than David and Sonia. And so that's why we're here. So thank you guys so much for making space for us and for giving us time tonight.
Thank you so much, Tawana. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be holding this space. And today, you know, sometimes I have to say I'm grateful to be above ground today, because didn't everybody wake up this morning? And so, and not everybody's gonna go to bed tonight. So I love that we are able to be here and to hold some space, not only for us, but not only for the four of us, but for everybody that's here, that's joining in the call. And so I'm really grateful for the presence and the opportunity to be in community with y'all this evening. Super grateful.
Thank you again.
Yes.
And tell us, so for those who may not have seen you guys before, tell us about Blackfulness. Tell us about the work that you guys are doing.
So I am co-founder and CEO, and I'll let my co-founder David introduce himself. But we are a culturally relevant mindfulness app that was developed with a grant from National Institutes of Health, which is the largest funder of medical research in the world, with content that was developed at Spelman by a clinical psychologist and associate professor there named Dr. Natalie Watson Singleton. We often refer to her as the mother of our content. And David and I became involved at an opportunity sort of at the apex of when COVID was blowing everything up. And I had been an event planner for more than 20 years. And the opportunity to do something that I felt like had completely changed my entire life, mindfulness, my relationship with myself, and frankly, my relationship with God, is really what kind of turned my life around at a time that was really challenging for me. And it seemed like the perfect opportunity to do something that was not only in service of myself, but was in service of the community. And so David and I have the big, hairy, audacious goal of all the Black people. We just want to support all the Black people. And because the Black community shows the highest need, we feel like if you support the group that has the highest need, all the other groups get supported, right? And so that is our big, hairy, audacious goal. But presently, a lot of what we're focusing on is healing the Black community by healing Black women first. And when we talk about the importance of Black women as leaders, as entrepreneurs, as parents, it's undeniable, the presence. And then you want to add to it the impending Black woman president that we're about to have. I think there's a lot that can be said about just not only being Black in this country at this time, but being a Black woman in this country at this time. And for us, what it means is bringing mindfulness in a way that supports us, that we can have access to it and allow it to transform our lives in our day-to-day, not while we're sitting on a mountain somewhere with our legs crossed, oming, which is also good. I love that. I have done that.
You can't wait till you get to the mountain for relief, right? You can't, right?
Right, exactly. We need to know today how we gonna make sure nobody catches these hands. We need to know today how somebody's not gonna get cussed out because they were being disrespectful. We're talking about mindfulness for our day-to-day lives, and to be practicing it in a way that's intentional and supportive so that we can really reduce the stress that as a community is killing us, just literally and frankly. And so it is my great pleasure to serve in this way, especially in something that I know has transformed myself and has the possibility to, frankly, transform the world.
Very good. Thank you for that. David, you want to add something to
that? So thank you all. Just grateful to be in the space and recognizing the space that I'm in and the amount of space that I take up. So just really grateful for being here and being able to hold that container and be what I've been all my entire life, a #1 supporter of Black women, because everything about me and how I show up has the fingerprints of Black women all over it. And so it's indeed a pleasure to work alongside with Sonia as president and co-founder of Blackfulness. And the only thing that I will add is that at the core of what we are bringing is our why. And our why is to remind our people that we are deserving and worthy of living our highest and best lives. And that can look like a life that is free of stress, or at the very minimum, reduced stress, um, so that our magnificent potential can be fully realized, because we are amazing, fantastic people, and we have lots of muck in the way that has the opportunity to be cleared with mindfulness, with culturally relevant mindfulness that's fun, that's intuitive, and that really does, with an intention, make room for and prioritize us first at the center, for us, by us, unapologetically. And so I'm grateful to be here, grateful to serve, and looking forward to how the evening unfolds. I'm complete. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you both. So let's jump right in. I'll have a transparent moment. I am struggling in this season with the political climate.
Hmm.
I have a bit of PTSD from the last time around, right? And when I say and I don't want to make this a political conversation, because I know there's a subset of y'all that are going to try to unfriend me, which is okay, mind you, if you do, for this reason. But we've already been here, done that. When somebody says something political, it's like everybody's like, this is not a political conversation. But in order for me to tell you my truth, I have to give you context. So bear with me or not. The last time Trump ran for president was a very traumatic time, because as a Black woman, it was very volatile, especially as a Black woman in corporate America, where I am not the majority. It was a very volatile time. Also in many spaces where I found myself, where I thought I was accepted, well received, whatever terminology you want to use, during that time, I found out truths about those spaces that were a little disheartening, right? Where you realize the people that you work alongside of for years and you thought were even friends, you got to downgrade them to associates at best, because you realize we are not the same, right? And it took that climate to have that revelation. And so I feel the anxiety building, because here we are again. And for me, that the fear of the unknown, like, how will this be volatility times 10 because people got away with it the first time, right? So will they feel braver now? And so will crime rates increase even more? Will racism be even more relevant? Will people be bolder, right, with it, because they got away with it and they can do it? So all of these things I think about all day long. That's on top of being a mom, right? Now I don't have little kids. I'm still somebody's mother, right? I'm somebody's grandmother. I'm even somebody's mother that got recently diagnosed with a heart defect at 37 years old. So I'm someone's mother who now has to worry about losing her child while running a business, being a best friend, being a wife, being a community leader. All of those things, we've got to show up, right, in a way that we put on a good face, right? Put a little eye on, put a little lipstick on, and people think you're because you look well. When at the end of the day, it's hard. It's hard to look this good, right? It's hard. It's hard to come and smile. It's hard to love others enough to make them smile. It's very, very difficult. And then when you put this political climate on top of real life, it just gets heavy, and I feel heavy. And so help. Where's the white flag? Where's the white flag?
It's a little sign that she needs, like that. Just help.
Help.
Listen,
Like the men on the side of the road. I don't need food. I don't need no money. I just need help.
there was a post on Instagram or social media, or Twitter, a message to President Barack Obama that was like, "Hey, bro, I know you see us out here struggling. Come help." Like, yeah, like this. So that's what this feels like, is that moment. And I think we've taken a great step here by being in community and having open, honest, transparent dialogue about what the thing is, right? Because getting it out of the body into a space that can be, and we're in Oakland right now, y'all, and I'm outside. And so I'm just going to say we are leaning into the noise of life as always, because Oakland is live right now, apparently at 3:13 on a Monday. But I think the celebrating and congratulating this body for having this very real conversation. Because part of mindfulness is honoring where we are at a moment in time, checking in with where, I'll speak from the I, with where I am at any given moment. And so that's something that Sonia and I lead into before we start any session. It is, let's just get a temperature gauge. And Tawana, you've done a great job of setting off what the what the temperature is in the room, right? And we want to extend that opportunity to other folk to just tap in on their mood. Is this an appropriate time and space for this, Sonia?
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. T-Shine, you wanna jump in whenever you feel comfortable, and whatever you feel comfortable with as well.
I think this is definitely a challenging year. I started off the year a part of the workforce reduction demise. So having that as the precursor to a year, and then struggling throughout. So this is month 8 of that process, and still having to be the main person. I am the main person in all endeavors of my life, specifically, no matter where I am, that's where I have to show up. So I am a mother of a child who's a college child. I'm living in Savannah, Georgia. Wasn't a great time to move to the South during this political climate, but I'm here. All of those things kind of come in, grappling with what to do next. I'm more of a solution oriented. I don't try to stay in the moment. I'm always trying to fit the plan, but the plan isn't working, and none of the plans have been working. So that to me is the challenge of, since I build my whole persona on I am the fixer, and I can't fix this right now. I'm not able to remedy this issue, and not for myself. Therefore, I can't do anything for anybody, and I live in a moment of servitude. So that's a double whammy for me. If I can't fix it for somebody else and I can't fix it for myself, we have lost my identity. So that's kind of how I'm moving. And it's just difficult. I would say the challenge of speaking consistently to a wealth building group when I'm trying to just survive becomes a hard thing. I'm not wealth building at all. I'm trying to ensure that I live the life that I need to live and maintain that as much as possible. And there is no plan B. So unless I have to move into Kentucky, that's my plan B.
That's our plan B. I am her plan B, but I
that's my
welcome
plan B.
plan B.
Bring
I
all my
welcome
stuff.
plan B. I got a room waiting for it. So
I know.
So that's kind of how that works. But those are, I think that's the trick, is to really call the thing a thing. And that's what it is. Sometimes it's not just the heaviness of it. It is like, what's the solution? Because I can't dwell on it. It's coming. I see the train coming. I cannot stop the train. Do I need to move out the way? Do I need to jump at a certain time? Do I need to get into a car? Like, I'm a solution oriented, and the solutions are not coming to fruition as quickly as I need them to happen.
Yeah, this is some good stuff.
I love this. And thank you both, Tawana and T-Shine, for sharing. It's your vulnerability is beautiful, and it is opening. And I hear you saying also that it's hard as hell. And so let's David, I'm gonna let you do the check-in, but I really wanted to honor that I hear you and I feel you, and same, right? Like all of that. Yes, all of that. And let's do our mood check, and then let's talk about it. Yeah, let's absolutely talk about it. Yeah.
Let's get on there. Thank you, T-Shine, and thank you, Tawana, for modeling what I'm gonna invite others on the call to do. And that is just this self-awareness check, this mood check. Self-awareness is a mindfulness practice. Tawana, you said something earlier that we came here to talk to y'all. We came here to converse together because there is wisdom in the room. And we want to make sure that we tap into that collective wisdom. So this is a conversation. We always say that we're not showing and telling people something that they don't already know, because there is no possible way that you can be Black in these United States of America and not have some type of mindfulness practice. Whether you call it mindfulness or not, you're doing something. And so we like to show those short little sprints of what mindfulness can look like. And self-awareness is one of those. And so the invitation is on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being you should, what does 1 mean, Sonia?
I say 1 is you lucky I'm here,
Okay.
and
then
that I'm even present to this conversation. Sure enough.
and then 5 is I am present, I'm ready, I'm open. And what we want to make sure that we emphasize is that there is no judgment in the ranking, in the scale. It is simply information and data for the individual to use to know where they are in time and space, right here and right now, to be able to do the thing that T-Shawn just talked about. I can be better able to offer a solution when I know where I am in this moment, right? And so the invitation is in the chat. To, if you wouldn't mind, if you're open to it, sharing, using that same scale of 1 to 5, where you are right now. 1, so that you know where you are in this conversation, and then so that also we know how to engage. You got an 8, let's go. 1, let's go. Broad range, get in there. But remember, there's no judgment in the ranking. It is purely data, information, right? And we want you to remember the number that you have in there. I'm at like a 4. I see folks getting there, and I'm at a 4, some 3s. And yeah, and so from this point, we can move into, you know, some experiences around mindfulness that help with clarity and grounding and openness for non-traditional solutions, right? Those ones that start right here first. I can't do anything outside of me before I take care of what's happening on the inside. And I'm gonna go on mute because again, it's live in Oakland right now, and Sonia, I know you got this.
You don't hear it, it's great. So if
You
you're
don't
just
hear it that bad.
Yes.
There's just
yes.
a little bit of noise, but not it's not loud to us at all.
your,
No, I
your
am-
mic is working really well because it's
Okay,
just,
good. I am honorary, and it's wearing me out.
Yeah, we don't hear it.
I like this exercise
Love
because
it.
it means like how I'm interpreting this is like for me, I'm always here. Like I show up as me, I'm conscientious, but that's the overzealousness of I gotta be on point because I'm waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm hyper present over and over to the point I can't relax. I can't think about anything else beside what I'm doing because I'm like, is this the time? Is this the moment? Do I have to do something else? What am I doing? How am I going to do it? How's it going to do it? I got 5 million things. I got to make sure this recording goes out. I got to do this. I'm always on and I need to turn off. That's my mindfulness. So that's kind of where I think that's
That's
an
a really
oriented
good
exercise.
point. That's
Yeah,
really
like that's
good.
my, I'm always mindful. I think I have too much going on. It's not purposeful. It's just task oriented. I'm ready for any task that's coming my way at a split second that I don't get to relax and think about what the task is going to be.
Mindfulness is a great reflection of truth about oneself first and foremost. So thank you for showing the power of what a mood check can do in terms of self-awareness. You have just modeled it once again, T-Shawn. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's interesting because, you know, Talisha and I deal with different things, but I can say that same thing. So for me, showing up for me is I don't want to let this community, showing up here to the 10K project every week, I don't want to let these people down, right? Like this community depends on us. Like they come every week and they have stuff too. And if they can show up, I can show up, right? And I feel that. And it's like, I never want to burden them either because my job here in servitude to this community is to uplift them, right? It's to make them better than they arrived, right? And so sometimes when I'm not feeling my best, right? When I don't believe the thing, I'm still saying the thing, right? Because I may not believe the thing today, but I know the thing is still true, right? Today is just a hard day. And so showing up is important. It means so much to me. I want people to show up for me, so I show up for them. But it's not always easy to do. It's not always easy.
Right. And I love so much how clear and willing both of you are to really be about this. This is my experience. This is my active experience. And I really remind people all the time that we are more than one thing, right? At any given moment, a million things can be happening, and the good and the bad. Joy and sorrow are proximate, right? Like they have to live together, right? So that we have the experience. You know, how do we know true joy unless we have experienced sorrow, right?
Mhm.
So we have to have something that we can sort of have side by side. And when it comes to being resilient, you know, I should preface by saying I kind of get tired of having to be resilient, right?
That's
Like
it.
that's the vibe, right? Like, yeah, black people in the dictionary, picture a black person going, yeah, I got it, I get, you know what I mean? Like I get tired of that. Like I want to be able to show up in the world or have the experience of the world that doesn't involve me having to work so hard all the time, right? And that is where Black people are literally dying from stress, right? The effects of stress. We lead all races in allostatic load, which is the wear and tear on our bodies from stress, right? We got, you know, the chemicals and the enzymes and the all the things that are operating in our body are always on heightened alert. That whole having that flight or fight or
Fight or
flight
flight.
response kind
Mhm.
of always active in our body is actually not good for us, right? We deserve time of rest. We deserve time to allow our bodies to recover. We deserve that time to be able to just be still, to find peace. But so what you're saying, Tishana, you're always on.
Yeah,
You
there's
got to be ready for the
it's
next
never
thing.
off. Like I'm the
It's
computer
nonstop,
constantly
right?
plugged in, and I'm always doing something. It's not just like
Right.
I'm in sleep mode. I'm never in sleep mode. I'm always doing something.
Right, right. And I would say that is a fairly consistent presence, specifically in the Black community, right? Like there's something that has us always sort of going on and on and on. Now, I mentioned the fact that we're talking about women specifically, and I noticed that there are some people who do not identify as women in the group, and I don't at any point want to make them feel excluded. We are talking about mindfulness in general. It is universal. It doesn't even actually apply only to Black people. I can speak to my experience, right? And as a Black woman, what my experience has been and using mindfulness. But I know, like I said before, when we can address those who have the biggest need, everyone else's needs are addressed along the way, right? And so when we're talking about resilience and mindfulness, we're really talking about how do we use the tools we have available to us to be able to be present. Tishana, I hear you saying that you're present, but you're moving. Like you're still anticipating, you're like the chessboard, right? Like you got the plays already mapped out in your mind. And sometimes you're like, wait, where'd that come from? Right? Like that's not a play I had mapped out in my mind, or that's not a situation I was prepared for. Or I'm still trying to recover from the last situation, right? Like, can I get a break? Like we just got over the political PTSD that is Donald Trump, right? We just barely holding on to getting to the other side of that. And that's why I say that I get tired of having to be resilient, right? Like I just would love some space where I could just thrive, right? But if you consider the idea that we as a community, and I'm going to refer to Black folks as the community in this moment, have always had that, right? Like we have the skill. David said there is no way you are living in these United States and don't have some kind of mindfulness practice, especially not if you live in the South. Like we can maybe get away with a little bit of it here in Oakland, right? But if you're living most any place else, there is a heightened vigilance that is required, right? That means that your body is always active, your mind is always active, right? And it just frankly, it's just not healthy, right? There has to be time for rest. There has to be time for recovery. And because we're so busy being resilient, we don't always make time for that, and we don't always make space for it. David, are you about to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say the beautiful thing about, thank you, Reverend Sonia. The beautiful thing is when it comes to resilience, and proximate to resilience is readiness, and that's what mindfulness brings, and specifically that's what culturally relevant mindfulness brings. I bet anybody in this room can finish this sentence stem for me. If you stay ready, what happens next?
Get ready.
And mindfulness is the get ready. Mindfulness is the process that helps you stay and get ready, because we know that life is going to life. We know that there are going to be things outside of our control. We know that there are things that are going to come that are going to be stressful. If then statement, if I know that this is going to happen, then I get to fill in the blank, right? Then I get to be grounded in my breath work, so that when I am triggered, I can take a moment to breathe. And when I breathe, that triggers to my mind and my body the type of response I want to offer, right? That moment between stimulus and response before I make a behavior. If I know this, then I can continue to be in my affirmations to remind myself of who I am when the world seeks to tell me something different about who I am. If I know this, then I can, and the list goes on and on. I can listen to music, I can dance, I can be in community with my people, I can, whatever the thing is, we get to choose what that is, especially if we already know what's coming. And so instead of being our goal is to support tonight and beyond our people, and recognizing that the pathway to this place of peace, of groundedness, is just in being prepared. Mindfulness happens with a sense of intentionality and a commitment to a consistent practice, right? Sonia says all the time, you can't get a six-pack by doing one sit-up. Just like you can't be ready, get ready, doing one mindfulness exercise in 365 days out of the year, do one, right? And whatever the thing is that we're already doing, do it, and do it with a level of consistency and a level of intentionality, because we know that life is going to life. And so I say this to myself, I cannot get mad at nobody for how I respond when I know what's coming my way, right? I'm not going to be caught looking like Boo Boo the Fool because I have not prepared, right? And we want to support transition and navigation from always having to be resilient. And resilience is a superpower. Let's be clear. It is a superpower. But like Sonia said, it's not one that's meant to be prolonged for a long amount of time, right? That's be able to tap into it and tap out, tap in, tap out when necessary, right? But readiness is something that I get to do on a regular basis when things are doing this or when they're doing this. I can stay ready with my practices, right? And that's why Blackfulness and what we're offering is so important, because again, we're making mindfulness accessible. We're reminding our people that the things that we've already been doing are mindfulness. It's been taken away and called something different, but we're reclaiming it and saying, nah, mindfulness is this for our community. It's the way that it's this gathering is mindfulness, right? Tishan, you said, you mentioned something earlier that it doesn't feel like you're building wealth, when you're dealing with the everyday things of life, when you come to the group. But just coming to the group, you're building wealth, right? Being able to be in a space where there is a consciousness that matches yours, that aligns with yours, a frequency, like values that are the same or similar, right? When you put yourself in a space where you can have high vibratory conversation around possibility, like that is building wealth. There's the transactional part of building wealth, and then there's the readiness part of building wealth. And that's where mindfulness and the readiness of building wealth are hand in hand, and they parallel and they align, right? Those processes are very, very similar. So indeed, showing up, that's in community is mindfulness. And so tonight, it's going to be amazing to send us through a couple, send us through our exercise, and would love to at some point in the experience to hear from people in the chat. I see a couple of people in here who I think I know from in the 10K project, Miss Jackie and David Boone. I'm just calling folk out that I know my mentor from way back in the way back, Tracy, big sister. But yeah, we just want to really reclaim and honor that we're already doing it. We're already being it. Let's add a level of intention and consistency to it, and watch that readiness be way more powerful than resilience.
Yeah, David, you just said something and it hit me. So I'm a visual person. So when somebody says something, I see it before I hear it. And you said superpowers are not right? They're not meant to be sustained. And as you said that, I imagined Superman, and he takes the cape off. He gets to be Clark Kent for a while, right? Before he's called back into action. I don't ever feel like I get to take my cape off. Like it's on, like I sleep with it, I wake up with it, like it's on constantly. I'm constantly in problem solving mode for something or someone in all aspects of my life. I never feel like I'm at rest. Even when I'm traveling to the most beautiful places in the world on vacation, I'm still not at rest because I'm still working, I'm still doing all the things. And I don't think I saw it like that until you said what you said, and I realized superheroes get to chill for a minute. Like, like they do, they get to chill. And like I know I'm not the only one. I can't be I don't think I'm special, right? So like I imagine there are many of us that don't get to just be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The power of the alter ego, right? You get
Right.
to just be.
Right.
You get to
Right.
you don't have to be super anything. You just are you. And that is a powerful state. I think of, I compare things to computer aspects. So disaster recovery is resilience to me. You always have to make sure the systems are up and ready and what happens, and you're coming up with all these plans of what happens, and you're really at the ready, getting them happening. Like, you know, if the system comes down, and there's incremental ways you can't, if somebody takes the system down, it usually has to be like, okay, we got all these little steps to take. But there's an aspect to preventive maintenance that was really something that I've always talked about. Like, why aren't we looking for these things before they happen?
Mm-hmm.
Don't wait until they happen and then we got to react. Why don't we proactively look for them and then decide, okay, you know what? I see this is kind of going this way. This is when the readiness happens. Okay, when I see this happening, maybe I need to check some log files. Maybe I need to disengage that server for a little bit. Maybe we need to stop the line and just take this somewhere else. There's some process that needs to be implemented at that point so that we don't have to have a disaster to recover from. We're just in preventative mode. We know it's going to happen. This is what happens in life. And if we could just take those measures incrementally, they won't seem so grandiose, and they also won't shut the system down.
Right.
That's what you don't want to happen, is to shut it all down.
Your word that,
Right.
oh, go ahead, Renaissance. Sorry.
Well, what I was going to offer is that there's what's consistent about this is the conversation about the superwoman schema. David put something in the chat about it. It is like a known psychological phenomenon, right? Like it is a diagnosis, and they're having conversations with the National Institutes of Health is having conversations about the fact that this superwoman schema heavily applies to Black women, right? That this is how we see ourselves when we're facing fatigue and insomnia and people getting headaches, and there's anxiety, there's the constant need to be vigilant because you know that train, you talked about a train, that train coming, the light at the end of the tunnel could be a train, right? Like you know, you're trying to be like, okay, it's almost over, and something else is coming for you. What's key in that, especially if you're a leader, you know, executive, entrepreneur, whatever the case is, and by leader, we're defining it broad. If you're a mother, if you've got people that rely on you, you could be auntie, you could be big mama. Black women in general show up in most situations as leaders, right? And that sort of level of weight, that level of expectation that we put on ourselves, not only that others put on us, but that we put on ourselves, carries a heavy load, right? But the fact of the matter, and we be ready, we are ready for it. But the fact is that we're operating not at 100% capacity, right? We're in most cases probably operating maybe at about half capacity. Now, our half capacity is badass.
Still more than any damn body else's, right?
The server's on. The server is on.
The server is on, right?
Yeah, it's on, and it's still doing stuff, but it's not
exactly.
It's not optimized, and that's the point. The optimization is never allowed to come full force, and optimization allows you to prepare for other things. It allows you to do the practice of readiness because you're not putting out a fire. You're saying, okay, we're in a calm state. Everything as systems are up and ready. Now, how do we make efficiencies? Where do we change the load? Maybe we do need a new server. Maybe we need new people. You get to ask the question, but you can't ask questions when you're constantly in producing mode.
Right.
That's 100%.
And T-Shawn, you said something again that I want to double tap on. You said it's incremental.
Yes.
The preparation is incremental. And so the research that we did with the NIH showed that mindfulness resonates more within the Black community when the experiences are short and to the point, because people got things to do, right?
Mhm.
And so incremental can mean mindfulness that takes less than 5 minutes, right? We want to also dispel the misnomer that mindfulness has to take 30 minutes to an hour or your whole day, or no, mindfulness can be 30 seconds to take a moment to say, let me just breathe. Mindfulness, right? And you do those incremental steps over a prolonged, sustained amount of time. You're building a muscle. You're building, let me not say you, let me speak from the I. When I do that, I'm building muscles that are just like the muscles that I build as an athlete. Like as an athlete, I don't just go up on the basketball court and start playing, or just a football and just no. I had to practice. I had to practice, and I had to get ready and comfortable and familiar with all the things. Mindfulness is the same way, right? Those incremental um, practice opportunities that I create help me be stronger, right? At the core, resilience is strength, right? Um, Resilience though is the bounce back. If I'm consistently in a space of power and strength, then I can move throughout my day with grace and with ease and be rooted and unbothered, right? For me, my ultimate goal around stress, around mindfulness, 100% is stress reduction. But ultimately, what I want out of life is peace and to be unbothered, right? Period. And so
That part.
Yeah.
the things around me are going to happen. And then I know if my inner peace is real, right? And I'm finding it more and more and more, the more that I'm consistent in my own mindfulness practices, there's a lot, there's not too much that can shake me, right? And that's because I'm doing my work every day, right? I am consistently, and let's be clear, I just had a moment where I lost it. And I was not as mindful as I wanted to be. And I was able to pull it back and make the situation right. But because I have mindfulness on a consistent basis, culturally relevant mindfulness, because I tell people all the time, this app that Sonia and I are stewards of and shepherding, it's for me. Like I need it more than anybody else on the planet, I feel like. And we get the great opportunity to share it, right? To just create the space and make the invitation for our folk to come in. And again, just whatever your thing, whatever it is that you're wanting out of mindfulness, it is possible. I feel more peace every day. And I'm from the South, and I travel back home to the South at least once every 2 months. And so I revisit, and I'm shocked every time I go home with just, oh yeah, I remember this. But every time I come home or go home and I can say I remember this, my level of being unbothered is so high. Like I'm so unbothered. And that's a testimony of literally taking 5 minutes out of my day to use this app that I have my own personal testimony with. It just really kept my hands off of a lot of people. And that's something that I have struggled with in the past. But now I don't, right? Because I have something that's grounded. And so we want this gift for everybody, for all of us. We all deserve it. We're all worthy of it. And one more mindful person on the planet is a win for everybody.
I think it also
Everybody.
goes to speaks to how we are. This community requires peace of mind.
Mhm.
Again, wealth is one thing. And again, to enjoy it and to build it responsibly, there's a double aspect to it. You just don't want to be wealthy for wealth's sake, and you don't want to do anything and everything for it. Because again, your peace of mind truly needs to be intact for you to enjoy the abundance of it. And so here is where we kind of cultivate that, but that's why we desire to make sure that we're not putting the horse before the cart kind of thing. It's like we're not just building wealth, we're building a mindset to abundance that includes a wealth of health, a wealth of spirit, a wealth of monetary aspect, and a wealth of our community. Because the more healthier we are, we can actually heal ourselves. There is a level of healing with our community that I think we can only do with ourselves. I don't think it is a thing that it's a kumbaya exercise with others. I just, it's like family thing. You need to help your family before you help the greater community. So our house needs healing, and it is with mindfulness that we have to bring that, because if you are triggered, some people have different things going on. We're never going to be at the same space at the same time. So we all need something to help us when we get there to be like, okay, this is the mission. This is the thing that we got to tackle. And yep, it's going to throw us some little curves, and somebody's going to feel some type of way. We got to grit and do all these things through it. But with a mindful practice, I think that's where we make the most progress and exponentially grow where we're trying to go.
Right. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Because the fact of the matter is, we're not getting to where we're trying to get to if we're not taking care of ourselves.
Right.
Correct.
Right. Like, you're not going to get to the end if you fell out somewhere, right? Because you're not taking care of yourself, the goals aren't being met. Right. And all the people that you're concerned that you have responsibility for are not getting what they need because you fell out somewhere because you haven't been taking care of yourself.
Absolutely.
Right. Like, there's nothing in our lives that says, work yourself to the bone, and those are the most successful people. That's not how it works out. Right. When you are operating at higher levels, right, you're operating at higher levels of leadership, you're operating at higher levels of wealth, the responsibilities you have to better take care of yourself are higher. Right. Like, the expectations of your self-care have to be higher if you really want to operate at exactly at the top of your game. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, that's just without exception. It's without exception. Elite athletes have coaches, right? Then have people who help them recover their bodies, who have massage therapists, who have physical therapists, because they need that constant presence of self-care so that they can function at an elite level. We cannot function at an elite level if we're down here not resting, not taking care of ourselves, not hydrating, not eating properly. Like, that all is just real life, right? It's all just real life.
And let's be clear, everybody on this call is a life athlete. And so the same thing that pro athletes get around their coaching and their overall well-being, it's the same for every one of us on this phone call and beyond. Because we're all out here.
I told my daughter that she's a Olympian as we watch the Olympics.
Right.
I said, we do the Olympics every single day, 365. This is your stage every single day. So I'm like, if you want to show up and get your gold, what do you do? Because the gold comes from the practice. You just receive it at the finish line. That gold. We always, she's a gymnast, so I always say, like, you earn the gold in practice. You just pick it up when you're at the meet.
You better drop the mic.
Right.
Man,
That's
man.
right.
That was a long time. We would say that all the time, because I'm like, yeah, that's why you practice 4 hours a day. You don't
That's why you practice.
that's the culmination, and that's the place that you get it, but you've earned it already. It's yours to have.
Right.
It's just that you have to put in that work.
Right. And we say stay ready so you don't have to get ready. But there is some time that you have to spend getting ready, right?
Yeah, you got to get ready. You got to know when that get ready is.
Right. In order to state it. Right. You got to get there first. First time. Right.
There's some preconditions.
So.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So how do we, so I want to go to the app for a minute. Yeah. How do we use the app, right, to help with some of these things, right? Some of the things that we've talked about here today. I could also think about some of the things that we haven't talked about that have brought us to this moment, right, without us realizing it, as childhood traumas and how we think we have to show up in this world, right? Right. Those things that brought us to this, my 55 years of living has been an culmination of experiences that brings you the person here today. How do we deal with all of those things? How do we use the app to help us? How do we find and tap into the mindfulness activities? I want to talk about the app.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you, Twana. I just put a quote in from Dr. Sean Jenwright. He has a book called The 4 Pivots. And his book is called, the subtitle of his book is Reimagining Justice, Reimagining Ourselves, right? Like, there's no way for us to get to that next level without really taking a good look at ourselves. More than anything else, it's important to create a consistent and faithful practice of reminding ourselves who we are, what our purpose is, and where we want to go, right? And so that's what Blackfulness is intending to offer, a consistent and faithful practice of reminding ourselves who we are, right? And so the opportunity with what we're doing now, the library of resources that we have right now, and the intention that we have set to develop the app in even more expanded ways that allow for a bigger Blackfulness experience, right? Like what we have now, all of the content that we have now, we stand by flat-footed. Like we are all the way, like this is gonna help you. Is it all the other things we want? Like, does it call us? Does it sort of reach out to us and remind us to do the practice? Does it have some of the other things we'd like it to have? Not yet, but that's what we're working on now, right? But the practices that we have are really about that consistent ability to show up for ourselves, right? And showing up for ourselves is where the shift happens, is where the transformation happens. We actually, I know we're coming up on time. We have a practice that I actually want to share, our resilience and roots practice. It was one that we created at the time of Black History Month because it was Black History Month and we needed practices to celebrate. And it's important for us to have practices that speak to our real life, right? You know, we're working on a practice that's mindfulness practice for when they got your fist balled up like Miss Sophia, right? Like just those moments, like we need real life. Like I need the mindfulness practice for when one more time she tried to touch my hair. Like that's the thing I need. How can I collect myself, right? So that I can stay present. Those mindfulness practices to try when you're facing microaggressions, right? We're talking about creating the space that allows us in an acute situation, right? In a moment of, oh my God, I think somebody's about to catch hands. Instead, I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to get myself grounded. I'm going to come back to center and know what's for me to do and what's important to me, right?
From a technical standpoint, you know, our app exercises range from 5 to 10 minutes. The average is around 7 minutes. And so how to use the app, take a moment and set aside for yourself 10 minutes in your day, each day, whether it's in the morning, whatever time it is. If you can, try to make that time of the day consistent where you carve out and say, this is my time. I even put it on my calendar to make sure that it's not scheduled over. This is my 10 minutes that I'm going to intentionally take to do this app exercise, right? And then you take those 10 minutes and you go throughout the app and allow your intuition to tell you which one of those app exercises in that library is the one for you. Because what I found is that when I scroll through it, the one I need, my body will tell me, yep, that's the one. I'll have a response to it, right? So that's the way to use it now, using your intuition, which is a gift that Black folk have. And it's a strong gift that we have. And I'm gonna encourage us to trust that gift a lot more. The other thing that we can do from a practical standpoint is we have something called the Blackfulness prescription that we can send you, Tawana, that you can send out to the rest of the group that points people to specific app practices to use based on specific behavioral or biological experiences, right? If I can't sleep, we've noted what app exercises to use for that.
Oh, nice.
If you're having general stress, we have noted, what apps. So we've created a map, right, for folk to use. Now this map will be integrated in Blackfulness 2.0, where you won't have to have two different sets, but for the time being, we're gonna work with what we got.
Absolutely.
And so we'll get you all that prescription as a way to support people practically and technically guiding themselves through the app for the best experience.
Oh, I love that. Talisha, if we can wait till we get that before we send the replay, because I think that'll be great in the email with the replay for people.
Certainly.
Wonderful. Yeah, Miss Jackie said great. I think that's going to be awesome.
We love you, Miss Jackie.
Yes, we appreciate Miss Jackie. She's an investor, and
I know.
I'm already.
Miss Jackie is how we got introduced to each other initially.
I love that so much.
Yep,
yes, she shows up regular.
And thank you for sharing our stuff, Miss Jackie, on social media. We see you and we appreciate you.
That's right. All the time. So let's do a practice. We're coming to the end of our time, and I want to make sure we get a practice in. Please take a moment to download the app. David has put the links for the iPhone and Android for you to get in there. We're letting you know that right now it's free, but before this year is over, it won't be, right? Like it is we are doing our work in the world, and we still have a business to run.
And we building wealth.
We're building wealth. That's
Exactly
it,
so.
right? That part.
Exactly so.
Because serving and thriving simultaneously are the goal and are possible.
Right.
You can do both.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly so. Exactly so. So we're going to take some time to do this practice, and then we'll have just a couple minutes. This practice is about 6.5 minutes, and then we'll have some time. I don't know if folks have any questions that they want to ask. Make sure that you know how to find us. We'll drop our contact information into the chat so that y'all can reach out directly if you have the need. But we'll start with this practice here on this is our Resilience and Black Futures practice.
Welcome to Resilience Roots and Black Futures, a guided meditation to honor and celebrate the enduring strength rooted in African American history and to envision the limitless possibilities of Black futures. Find a comfortable position, either sitting or lying down, and let's begin. Take a deep breath in, hold it at the top, and slowly exhale. Again, deeply in through the nose, holding it at the top, and exhaling any tension or stress that you may be carrying. Allow yourself this moment to be present and connected. Breathe. As we embark on this journey, recognize the rich tapestry of African American history, woven with threads of courage, perseverance, and resilience. Imagine yourself standing tall, rooted like a sturdy tree, drawing strength from the soil beneath you. Feel the energy of the ancestors surrounding you. Imagine them whispering stories of triumph and endurance. Inhale deeply, absorbing their wisdom, and exhale, releasing any doubts or worries that may weigh you down. Now visualize a vast field stretching before you, symbolizing the challenges faced by African Americans throughout history. With each step, know that you carry the indomitable spirit of those who came before you. As you walk through this field, feel the ground beneath your feet, solid, supportive. Inhale, drawing in the resilience of those who faced adversity with unwavering determination. Exhale, releasing any self-doubt or negativity. You are a manifestation of strength and resilience. As you continue this journey, envision a river flowing gently beside you, symbolizing the continuous flow of resilience in the African American community. Dip your fingers into the water, feeling the coolness and clarity. Allow the river to cleanse you of any lingering stress or tension. Inhale, absorbing the flowing resilience, and exhale, letting go of anything that no longer serves you. Breathe. Now shift your focus to the horizon, where the sun sets on the challenges of the past. As the sun dips below, visualize a new dawn emerging, symbolizing the Black futures yet to unfold. This new day holds infinite possibilities, where dreams are nurtured and aspirations take flight. Inhale the potential of Black futures, and exhale, releasing any fears about the unknown. You are a co-author of this unfolding narrative. Breathe. Now take a moment to reflect on your personal aspirations and contributions to the ongoing story of resilience. Breathe in the power of your dreams and exhale, sending that positive energy into the universe. Breathe. In the stillness of this moment, embrace the essence of African American resilience and the boundless potential of Black futures. Feel it in your bones, in your heart, and in your soul. You are a living testament to the strength that runs through generations. You are the torchbearer for the bright future ahead. Breathe. Inhale the resilience that flows within you and the endless possibilities for our future. Exhale slowly, carrying that strength, that hope with you into the world. Breathe.
So we then allow our attention to return to this moment and this place. And remember to breathe.
And
Indeed.
so, in the sweetness of this moment, we are going to invite you once again. Check in on your mood. Where you at right now? 1 to 5. 1 being, be thankful I'm here. 5 being, I'm here, ready, present, and available. And take particular notice of what your first ranking was and what your now second ranking is. So feel free in the chat to share your rankings and notice what you notice from the beginning of the session, where you were, to the end of the session, where you are right now. And thank you all so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A blessing and a gift.
So Tawana or Shishine, you have anything, any closing words to wrap up our time? Maybe share what your experience has been.
I'll let you go, Ms. Tawana.
First of all, thank you. The dogs see me crying. They're like, wait a minute, what's going on? Who did it?
So
So
they
they're
I
jumping
can hear
on me.
her
I can't.
breathing in the background.
I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm good, y'all. Like, where they at?
She could
This was wonderful. I feel like I needed to just say it. Like, I feel like I needed to just talk, right? Like, we hold so much in with the trying to be strong and being there for everybody else. I feel like I've been holding my breath. And so tonight allowed me to exhale figuratively and literally, right?
Yes.
And so thank you for that. I feel some of the weight gone. Like, I feel a little lighter. So thank you very, very much for that.
Excellent.
Alicia.
I'd say again, my mind is not going to stop, but this gave me something else to think about that isn't task oriented, it's just to be. So just planting the seed and hearing it, like put that on the list, and then I come to that part. It's like, yeah, okay, I just need to be right now. So thank you for that.
And I want to just as like a little asterisk to that. I know a lot of people think that meditation is about making your mind stop doing what it's doing, and that's not what it's designed to do, right? Meditation is designed to give you the presence of mind to not to let situations control you, not to let other people's personalities control you, to make sure that you have the opportunity to be in control of yourself at all times. And so meditation is just the opportunity to figure out how to have all those nonstop activities going on and to still find calm, right? It's not to get rid of the nonstop activities, because that's literally what the brain was designed to do. It is a thinking machine. That's its whole goal, is to be constantly working. And so ours is to simply come to it and say, yes, I hear you, and I'm doing this thing over here, right? I'm having this different experience over here. And that's what brings about the peace, for sure.
That's wonderful. I also want to say to the community, first of all, thank you for creating a space here where I felt comfortable being vulnerable tonight, right? Thank you for that. You guys show up here every week, right? Some of y'all 2 nights a week, and on social and everywhere else where we are, you guys show up to support. And so thank you all for creating space for us to feel as loved as you make us feel. So thank you very much for that.
Any questions?
We would be happy for you to have us back, Swan and Tishan, whenever we can come, bring some meditation. Also, feel free to use the app. We have a lot of organizations and a lot of partners who start their meetings with just pick a practice, and everybody takes a couple minutes, or they rotate who's going to pick a practice this week to be in the app. We do have a couple of longer ones, maybe a 15-minute, maybe an 18-minute. But in general, they run between 3 minutes. We have some that are as short as 3 minutes. That's just a breathing exercise. And then we have the average one that's like 5 or 6 minutes. And you got 5 or 6 minutes. I know you might not feel like you got 5 or 6 minutes, but you got 5 or 6 minutes. Put down Instagram for 5 minutes and get on this, right? Yeah. Stop worrying for 5 minutes and get on this. Just spend, you got 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes.
And sometimes, people think you gotta, the invitations are to close your eyes and da, da, da. Sometimes just hearing the words while you're doing what you're doing can impact your subconscious mind. And that's actually what, for me, that's what needs to be worked on, is my subconscious thought. Because my conscious thought, I'm here, I'm with it, I got it. But it's that little subconscious piece. And so sometimes just hearing the exercises while I'm in action and in motion can also be helpful. So if you don't have 5 minutes to just sit down and be quiet, play it in the background. So that your subconscious mind is picking up, the music, the everything that we have done with this app has an intention behind it. The music that we play, it's from a spiritual musical guru, right? Who has put energy, positive energy into the music, and then the word choice, like everything is by design. So even if you can't participate fully in the experience with your eyes closed, have it playing as background noise, and there is benefit there as well.
Yeah, I love that, David. But I'm a big up Sonia on this one. We make time for everybody else.
Okay. Oh, come
right?
on now.
Everybody else and everything else.
Sure do.
If we don't have 5 to 10 minutes to dedicate to our well-being, then we're in more trouble than we think we are. And so I love David's suggestion about putting it on the calendar. I'm gonna start blocking that time just for me.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Add it to your alarm.
That part.
Yes.
Add, how you can have an activity that your alarm goes off and then something happens. Tie it to your alarm, since that's the first thing. And so instead of stopping the snooze, just listen to something while you lay there. And then
That's right. Y'all better teach the people. That's right.
So simple. Everybody uses their phone as the alarm clock. I'm telling y'all, I know you do it.
Yep.
So it's easy to trigger that instead of a song playing or that horrible, weird noise. I don't know why you would want to wake up to such a horrible noise. Have this instantly play. And then I don't know your whole life. I didn't say I did, but I do know that you're using that alarm on your, I would bet good money
Yep.
on that.
Yep.
Miss Tracy.
Look,
So
do
just do
something,
that. It's easy.
do something smart with the smartphone.
Yeah, exactly. You
Make it
got
work,
it.
That's
make
right.
it
I
work for
got
you.
one better because y'all know I'm still always thinking investments, right? And how to make money. Black
Come on
Phone
now.
Phase 3 is an alarm setting within the app that's going to give us exactly what we need to hear the first time we wake up.
Amen. Yes.
Boom.
And you
Thank
should know, Tawana, that is on the list. You know it is. You
There it
know
is.
it is.
Hey,
Let's
hey,
go.
hey,
You know it
hey.
is. You know it is. That's right.
See?
That's right.
I love it. Thank you
That's right.
guys so much. This
Thank
was
y'all.
well needed. Thank you to the community. Peace and blessings to all of you. And know that I love each and every one of you. And that is not a political announcement. I love y'all to my core. Because without you, there would be no 10K project. And the founders are staying open because we exist. People are building wealth because we're here. We're learning about new things because you guys give us time and a platform to be able to share. You guys are talking about us. I got off the phone with the founder at 4 o'clock because one of you, Jessica Simmons, told a founder about us and was amazing conversation. Not only is she going to come and present, but she's going to come and educate. And so we just keep this going. It's all about this community. The life's work that we do here is to make sure we all win. And so thank you guys for showing up week after week to help us do just that. So, and David and Sonia, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Will we bring you back? Hell yeah.
I think this should be a regular session. Like this should be on
Yes.
the schedule. We should have
Yes.
a mindful session.
I
every quarter.
agree.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
We are here
And
for
we'll
you.
let y'all know when we're ready for y'all to invest in the 2.0 version
That
of the
part.
app.
That part.
But we'll be ready
right.
for that. Yes. But you
That's
need
right.
to get us mind ready all thing and be mindful for all quarters. Just
Let's do it. Let's do it.
That's
Let's get you guys whatever frequency you want to come. We typically do quarterly, but if you say monthly, we want to do something, I'm all for that because I know I need it. I'm gonna be in the app though, so I'm gonna be okay. Because I'm gonna be in the app.
You'll be all
I already had it downloaded.
That's
now
right.
I just
That's
need
right.
to do all the other things. So
Exactly so. Exactly so.
So yeah, this is wonderful. I hope you guys got something out of this as much as I did. If you didn't, that's okay because I did. So, but I hope y'all all got as much from it. For anyone watching the replay, see the baby was worried about me. So they're gonna be more clingy than usual because mama was crying. But for all of you who are watching this replay, take the time, do the exercise. I think I'm gonna watch it again and do the exercise again because that was really, really powerful and be able to really focus and listen. I was in my head a little bit, so I want to do it again. So I'm gonna be when T-Shine dropped this replay, I'm gonna watch it.
Sure enough. Sure enough. And we will make sure we get that Black Wellness prescription to you as soon as we can.
I'll get it so everybody can have it and do it before the night is over. So close your night out with the mindful practice. So we appreciate you and thank you again for coming.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Good night, y'all.
Good night,
All right.
y'all.
Bye-bye.